Hello there. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Reading Tarot in 1 hour. I'm Zelda Kelly. I'm here and I'm excited to guide you through this basics of tarot reading. And I want to be able to give you enough to where tonight or tomorrow you can sit down with your deck of cards and you can begin the reading process. Now, all of this takes practice. You're not going to know everything in one sitting. And that's why I invite you to either keep notes, do your own study, or just keep practicing. Practice on family and friends. Practice on people that will help you understand your intuition and what you're getting. Now, one thing I am going to tell you, you do not have to be psychic to read the tarot cards. I know many people who are not and who are excellent readers. So just keep that in mind. Don't hold yourself back. The cards will definitely help you. By the end of this session and by the end of this video series, you will have a solid foundation of where to start the reading with the tarot cards on your own. For this introduction, I'm going to cover some essential aspects of the tarot and recommend starting with the Rider-Waite tarot deck. And there's a reason. You can either use the Rider-Waite or the Universal Rider-Waite. These decks are ideal for beginners and because they are easy to decode and decipher. And for those of you who are seasoned readers, I invite you to just follow along, and I'm so glad you're here, and thank you so much for your support in this. Now, this is why I'm saying to get a Rider-Waite deck. You see, this is the Temperance card, and we're going to go over this in a minute. She's part of the Major Arcana. There are 22 cards in the Major Arcana and 56 cards in the Minor Arcana. Now, some people say Arcana, Arcana. That is a preference that you are welcome to have, but this is the reason why. This is a beautiful deck. This is the Oak, Ash, and Thorn Tarot deck. I love this tarot deck, and I use it often. If you watch my videos, you're going to see this deck. But look at this Temperance card. You see what I mean? This is the Harmony Tarot deck. It's closer to her, but you're missing some elements there. And then check this out. This is the Lisa Parker Tarot deck. It's just gorgeous. But look at this. So that's why I want to teach you on this particular deck first. And then you're welcome to use whatever deck once you get the tarot meanings and the card attributes down pat. Now, the tarot is definitely a tool for gaining insight and clarity, and each card has a designated color and musical note. We'll get into that some other time, and if you're really interested in that, I have a series, and I'll link it here. You can go see it. It's called The Great 78 that I'm working on, and I go through card by card, musical note, color, the attributes of the card, and reverse meanings. Now, before I get started, reverse meanings are very important to some, and they are to me as well. But I don't read in reverse meanings. Some people say, well, you're cheating people out of 78 other meanings and so forth. Maybe. But you know, when you have a Devil card and a Tower card and negative cards come up, that's pretty negative. And with my guides assisting me, if there is a negative card that comes up, I'm going to be able to tell by the surrounding cards how either someone can handle this or should handle it or should prepare to handle it, and if it's temporary or long-term. That is the most important thing, and I'm going to say this is a preference. So just remember, when I say reverse, it would be looking like this. So there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, it's a matter of preference. But I read upright. And especially when I'm reading for someone in front of me, I don't like to confuse people. But if you do read reverse meanings, nothing wrong with that, then the card would then take on the opposite meaning. So if you have a positive card, and this is pretty positive, and so is this one, but if it comes up reverse, that isn't such a positive card, and neither isn't this one. So you're going to have to depend on the meanings and the attributes of each card, whether reverse or upright. It's a preference. It's up to you. So I want you to understand in detail how things are going to be coming about for you and how you feel about your cards. If you're dealing with a brand new deck, I suggest holding your deck, just sitting and holding it. Just, you can shuffle. Now, I've had these cards for a long time. You may be able to tell that. You can see they're pretty worn on the edges. I have another deck that is very old, and look at this. This came out. But just so you know, you have to explore this on your own. I can give you the foundation and the basics, but now this is going to be up to you. And how good of a reader you're going to be. That's the most important part, and that takes practice. I've been reading for decades, and every day I learn something new. But just so you know, there is a suit for every card. We have the pentacles. Some people call them coins. There's a wand. Then there's a major arcana. And then there's another major arcana. We have cups. And the last one is a sword. Now, each one of them have a different attribute in itself. And each one of them can have a different season. And we'll go through that with each one of the suits. But in order to prepare, I want you to find a very quiet place. Do not be distracted. Turn your phone off. Shut your windows if you have to. Go to a quiet room. Turn off your phone. Turn off your TV, all of your electronics, and close the door. Because you're about to embark on something that you can use for a lifetime. And that is very, very true. You need to set your intention to start reading, and then you must shuffle your cards. Now, when you get your brand new deck, you're going to see that each suit is together 1 through 10, and then the major arcana, minor arcana are together. You're going to have to really shuffle them good, and the best way that I do it is when I get a new deck, is I just shuffle. I go through like this, take a few, and start dividing them out, because that's the really best way, so you don't get a reading full of wands or full of cups and nothing else. That's not going to give you a good reading. So I wanted to give you all of these things as an introduction, because this is going to help you definitely. The power of the cards are very important. So shuffling these cards. And the first thing that you can do, see, now let you see what happened? When you shuffle the cards, it's different that one card pops out or two. This hit my thumb. So you're going to have to recognize when Spirit has a message to give you, or when your thumb gets in the way, or a finger gets in the way. But you just shuffle. And you keep shuffling until you decide or you feel that you don't have to shuffle anymore. Now, the one thing is, I don't let anyone handle my cards. If I have another reader come to visit, I don't say, here you go, read my cards. And that other reader would never ask me, because it's respect. And I would never read anyone else's cards unless a card deck was gifted to me. You don't do that. In fact, when someone is sitting in front of me, I don't even ask them to touch or to cut the cards for me. What I do ask them is just while I'm shuffling, they can say, okay, stop, or okay, that's fine, or whatever the case may be. Now, that card was kind of flipping around, and I turned that around, and this is actually a good card that indicates something is going to come through quickly. So you can do 1-card readings, you can do 12-card readings, you can lay all 78 out if you want to and read it as a story. That's the most important part. So for now, grab your deck, let's go through this, and thank you so much because I am so glad you are here. Stay tuned. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back. I'm Zelda Kelly, and here we are in the second part of reading cards within 1 hour. Now we're going to talk about the numbers associated with each card. In each 4 suits, each card are numbered in the minor arcana. Now, the one thing that's really important I really want to stress with you is there are elements to these cards. The wands are fire, the cups are water, the swords are air, and the pentacles are earth. And we're going to go over some really cool little aspects about identifying your client or other people by their zodiac sign within the tarot. So stay tuned with that. So let's get started. We're going to start out with the Ace of Cups. Isn't this a pretty card? Now you can tell by looking at this, relatively positive. This means there is a new beginning, a new potential, and new opportunities coming. There is a benevolent hand coming out on all 4 aces that basically says, look, here's some additional help. Here is some basic information to help you get kick-started in whatever it is that you want to do. As you may have already guessed, the cups represent emotional and love situations. And we'll get into more of that later. But since we have the cups out right now, I want to get into that. The 2s, the 2 of Cups here is balance, partnership, and decision. Sometimes you can get a reconciliation. Sometimes you can work this out. Depending upon your other cards, this can be either a love reconciliation, a family, or even a business partnership. And I'm going to say this. You see these little 2 entwined snakes there. That is a medical symbol that is used many times that you see in doctors' offices and so forth. For me, my interpretation of that, and I'm going to share it with you, is that sometimes when we come together and we work things out, that's better than a lot of medicine. Sometimes when we're at each other's throats, or we're at an impasse, or we're angry and we're upset and we've separated and we're filled with anxiety and all types of negative emotions, when we come back and we work it out, there is a wonderful, I'm just going to say, healing that goes involved with that. So that's how I look at things with this particular card. Now, the 3s. I love this card because it can also help you give timing. It can also, I call it the high celebration card because that's just basically what it is. However, it means growth, creativity, collaboration, working together, being together, making things work out. Sometimes when I'm really looking for timing in a card, if this particular card comes out, well, look at the pumpkins there and the foliage. I can basically say that that is the fall or the autumn of the year for the inquirer. So that's why you have to have a relationship with your own cards, because they'll help you to interpret what it is and how you're reading. And that's the most important part. Definitely they have something to celebrate. And the red on this particular card is definitely a power color. Reds are power color in the tarot. This 4, now this guy cracks me up because you have this hand coming out and say, okay, see, there you go. Are you being a little stubborn? The fours mean stability, structure, and foundation. But sometimes we have to think things over and make a decision, and it's very hard to do. And if we get a little stubborn, we may have a sign come out to help us make that decision. So just remember, if you need structure, stability, foundation, needing to know where you stand, this card will definitely help you do that. The number 4. Number 5. The 5s mean conflicts, changes, upsets, challenges. Just as an example, I want you to look at this card. This person is very upset because there are 3 cups that are broken and spilled out on the ground. But you see, they're totally ignoring the 2 that they have left, which is still a blessing. So it's telling us to not overlook things, to not be so into ourselves that we're just focused on one thing and not accepting or believing or seeing the rest. See the bridge in the background? This is a situation in which some people must cross over to realize what is happening in their lives. So that's number 5s. Just remember, these numbers are all across the board, and I'm giving you a little bit of each card, okay? Look at this 6 of Cups. Yes, I like that. I've got a lot about this card I want to tell you very quickly. The 6s are harmony, progress, recovery, coming together, and to me they're also memories. You can create new memories. But you see there's some elements in this card. This is the only card in the 4 suits or in the cup suit that has each cup filled with flowers without some type of negativity going on. This little boy, it's a red power position, is giving this cup of flowers to this little girl, creating a new memory, creating a new situation, creating harmony and being together. I almost said conflict, didn't I? Recovery. Well, you have to recover from this card. But I'm also going to point out some things, and as you read your cards, I want you to look at them because they're going to help you tell the story. And that's what reading tarot is. It's telling a story for your client. Look at this. You see there's a little face in her hair. Now, I'm sure you can see that. What does that mean? She may be looking at things differently than him. She may look at something, she may have a misunderstanding. She may have to think about things a little more than what he does. But look at this, and when you get a full-size deck, I'm using just a smaller size so they will fit in the camera lens. But look, there's somebody walking away. That means they're moving on. Someone, it may be a new relationship coming together, and the person that was formerly in the relationship must move on. There's many different interpretations, and yes, it just depends on which card associated with the number and which suit. So remember, the numbers are always the same, but the cards and their elements, so this is water, and it really is telling the emotional story, okay? This is number 7, a very interesting card. This number 7, 7s are assessment, reflection, and even strategy. Now, the reason this person is voided out here is because we're not supposed to be focusing on him. We are supposed to be focusing on what's going on with these cards, and it means that we may have to make an emotional, remember water, cups, emotions. We may have to make an emotional decision. Your client may have to do that based on the circumstances. Also, just remember, Some things are not as though they seem. We may pick this beautiful cup with this beautiful wreath, but look closer at the face on that cup. So you see, your cards are definitely going to tell the story. The next card is the number 8. The number 8 means you're making movement, you're making change, and there is an action within the number 8. As an example, you see these cups are all lined up. The one that's missing is the number 9. It's the 9th cup. So my interpretation of this card is not that you're just giving up and walking away, but then you're walking towards, because you've done everything that you possibly can do, and now you're walking toward number 9, because that is what's missing. So you're going to take that strategy to move on to number 9. And what is number 9? Fulfillment, completion, attainment. And the 9 of Cups is the 9 of Cups only now, not the other suits, but the 9 of Cups only is the yes card. The 9 of Cards is your card, the Cups, 9 of Cups is your wish fulfilled, your heart's desire, your goal attained. Now this is an exciting card, because if you're doing yes and no, when this card comes up, first, it is a yes, and we'll talk about that as well. Here is the number 10. The 10 in all of the cards, every suit, is completion. It's a culmination. It's the results. And basically it means that you've learned the lesson, and now you're getting ready to go on to the next phase. That's exactly what you're going to be doing. That is such a great card for you to be dealing with. The number 10, when it shows up, it means, phew, now you're going to get a fresh start. And that's exactly what this is. Now we have some royals and court cards. And all around, let me just say this, the pages, no matter what suit, the pages make announcements. They tell you, they send you messages. They give you a forewarning of what is about to come. You see, he's giving you this cup of information. That's one thing. And by the way, the fish is the spirit guide of the cup suit, and it's because it's water. Okay, so here we go. Who is next? The Knight of Cups. This Knight of Cups is an action card. So this guy will tell you that things are about to happen, and this guy, the action fellow, is going to bring it to pass. So you see, he's bringing this information of this cup of peace, or the cup of emotion, or just whatever the outline cards may be. He is bringing this to you so you can get a better idea of what's going on. Now, that's an action card, so he's going to put things into motion, and that's what you've got to remember. The queens of all suits are the nurturing. They're nurturing, they're loving, they're intuitive. Now, see, in this Queen of Cups, she's got all these pebbles. These are memories that she's remembering all this wonderful time. So she's the nurturing. Those are the queens of all elements. And then the king. These guys are the authoritative figures. They put their foot down, you see. They make sure that when they say goes, they make sure that the foundation of what's going on in the cards is steady. That's what they like. So no matter what suit it is, those court cards will all have the same properties, different meanings, but properties, all right? So that's what we have for this particular segment. I'm so glad that you're here, and stay tuned for part 3, and we'll cover some more things. Hello, and welcome back to part 3, my friends, of Reading Tarot Within an Hour. I'm Zelda Kelly, and let's get started. So, now in part 3, we're going to be discussing the suits and the elements associated with each suit. And I thought I would just pull out these ace cards because they are just so beautiful and pleasant. And we're going to get started. All right, the wands are fire elements. Anything fiery that, also growth and opportunity. But this is a good thing because it's energy, passion, and creativity, opening doors, having assistance, making sure that you are on the right track and can get that project, situation, circumstance in motion. That's what the fire energy. Have you heard that expression, lighting a fire under someone, metaphorically speaking? That's what the wand suits are. They make sure that you have this energy and passion for the creativity within. Okay? The Ace of Cups here, beautiful. We talked about it in our last segment, our last part of part 2. The water is associated with this, and it is emotions, intuition, and relationships of all kinds. So that's the water, and you have this hand coming out and helping you and guiding you in the direction that you need to go. We now have the swords, which is an air element. The swords are thoughts, communications, challenges, and can be challenges in communication and thought, or it can mark positivity, but mainly it's communication. Just remember the sword cuts both ways, so it can be negative or it can be positive. Now, the pentacles are the earth signs. The pentacles, I love this card. It's so beautiful. It is material aspects. It is work and physical reality. So basically anything having to do with money, investments, business, anything like that, saving, working, as I said, communication as far as business and promotions, you'll see that with these pentacle cards. Now, understanding the elements and the influence will help you to interpret all of the cards' energy and the surrounding cards' energy. I want to give you an example here. So, the Seven of Wands, here we go. The Seven of Wands. You can see that this is a fire element, and it represents defending one's position with energy and determination. You see how this is. Now, the one thing I want to point out with this Wands card is that defending yourself can be physically or even mentally your thought process. Not only that, you see the varying degrees. Just exactly how much energy do you think you're going to have to put into this project or into this person that you feel you have to maybe even verbally protect yourself from? You see what I'm saying? So it depends on the severity, I'm just going to say, of the wands as to what your interpretation of this card can be. That's very important, and so you remember that. So also remember that within each story, there's a context of the suit and the element, just like this swords. This Eight of Swords, which is an air element, depicts a person feeling trapped by their own thoughts and fears. But you see something? In this card, this person may feel like they're trapped by their own thoughts and fears, but they're not really. And in this particular card, you can't see it very well, but this blindfold doesn't come all the way down over her eyes. Also, the bindings are loose. She can walk out of this. The swords do not come all the way around. So there is a way out, and it depends on what this person is able to do and to accomplish in order to make sure that they overcome this situation. Now, the other thing is when you combine elements and numbers, you see this is a really pretty, I like this, and you're going to love this card. This combination, this Six of Pentacles, represents harmony and balance in material aspects, often indicating generosity and sharing resources. But it also can say, don't be an overgiver, depending upon the rest of the cards lying out. Don't overgive. Remember, you see the scales. You need balance. This person is in a power position with this red cloak, and they're helping the emotions, the people that are grounded and the emotions go along with those who are in need, and this person is generous enough to help. But this card I have seen many times in the past can also mean it's really great to be a giver, but make sure that you can also, or the inquirer, your client, can be a good receiver. That's the most important thing of this whole situation in this card. It goes both ways. Balance, not get out of balance whether giving and or receiving. So the very good thing about understanding the suits and their elements is that you can see how each card tells a unique story. So in this final part, we're going to talk a little bit more about in-depth and about layouts and about how to conduct a reading for your client or yourself. So stay tuned. Don't miss the last segment. Here we go. Hello and welcome back to part 4 or segment 4 of Reading Tarot within 1 hour. I'm Zelda Kelly and let's get started. Now the first thing I want to show you is reading the upright cards like I do, but it's up to you. But reading the major arcana, there are 22 cards. So take notes, or you may have to watch this over again, because I'm going to show you about each and every one of these cards, just to give you an idea, and their zodiac reference. Let's get started. The first card, which really isn't the first card, this is considered null, N-U-L-L, or 0. In this is the Fool card. Now you can see that he looks like he's jumping off into the cosmic unknown, right? And this little doggy is so upset and so forth. He's considered to be a fool, but not really. You see, on his little knapsack there, this little bag, can't really see it very well. On your deck you might be able to, is a phoenix. And it's rising from the ashes. With the white sun, it's basically trying to do over. He's wanting a fresh start. It's a do-over card. It doesn't mean that you're so foolish that you're just going to walk off and not think of anything, but it can be that depending upon the cards around. So just know, and like I said, you may want to watch my Great 78 series, and I'm not finished with it, but at the time of this, depending upon when you see this, I may be finished by that time. But that is also a work in progress. I'm going to go through every 78 cards. So this is the first card in the deck, is the Fool. And you can see the numbers. Number 1 is the Magician card. I love this card. I call it the Manifestation card. This is using all elements with an infinite amount of power to be able to work through a particular situation or attract what it is you need. And you see he's got a red cloak on too, so that is a powerful card in a reading. The High Priestess. This High Priestess card, she's got a lot going on here. But you see, let me turn her upside down or reversed here. She's got Torah written here. She's a very spiritual card. And that is number 2. Number 3, this beautiful Empress card. She's just taking it easy. This card can also indicate if someone is expecting a child. There's a power cloak here, but she's using every element to make her relax and to rule over what it is that she wants to rule. This is a good card for fresh starts and new beginnings. This Emperor card is the counterpart to the Empress. You see he's got a red cloak on and he's ready to get up and go. But the great thing about this particular card, he is the zodiac sign for Aries. You can see that he's just, you see the ram's heads on his throne? So Aries is the Empress. I'm sorry, the Emperor. Now this is the Hierophant, also a very spiritual card, number 5. Power card. This is the card for Taurus. Now, he is also the counterpart, let me show you, of the High Priestess. So just keeping that in mind. Here we go. With this Lover's card, a Gemini. And you see the red wings, there's power in that. Power in love, that's what you can say. And basically, that is, remember, Gemini, the Lover's card. And you can tell there, because look, 2 people, easily twins, right? There we go. This Chariot card, Cancer. Being pulled in 2 different directions, but love to travel. This Cancer card can mean that you're in so much control that you don't even need to direct which way you're going. You know exactly where you're going. That's the Cancer card, the sign of Cancer. This is this beautiful number 8, the Strength card, which is also Leo. There's an infinite amount of strength that comes in this card, and also knowledge is strength. And you can see this woman is overtaking this cat. So there's power in knowledge as well. This is the Hermit card, and this card is also for the sign of that very earthy Virgo. And you see the 6-pointed star in the lamp, that's the Star of Solomon. And he's up so high on a pinnacle looking over things. He's not a hermit, so to speak, that he's been locked away, but he's chosen this time to reflect and meditate. This is a very good card because there's a lot of wisdom in this card. The Wheel of Fortune. There's a lot going on here. All elements are in the Wheel of Fortune. And this guy right here, he's directing things the way they go. But also I want you to see this. You see there's a T-O-R and A, which is also the Torah. There's a lot of meaning in this particular card. So don't miss this one. This is the Justice card, which is also Libra. The Justice card requires balance. She's got power and also holding this sword. And the sword goes off the frame of the card, which means doing the right thing is a never-ending process, and it's justice. Remember, Libra. The Hanged Man. The Hanged Man becomes enlightened and understands that you can't stand there and dangle for the rest of your days. You've got to be able to move on and learn from a particular situation, and you do. That's what this card is. This Death card. Now, don't get scared. Doesn't predict a death. It's also the sign of Scorpio in the zodiac. But this card right here, or I'm sorry, this flag right here means that he is a collector of souls. There's a lot of movement in this card, a lot of wailing, gnashing of teeth, begging. But I want you to take note of this scene right here, okay? But this means transformation, going forward, going through an ending situation and coming out on the other side. This Temperance card is Sagittarius. Power, I love her. also requiring balance. And you see this pathway that's not a sun, that is a crown, meaning that is a goal. You got a little way to go yet, but making sure that there's balance. And you see this, you see this triangle here on her chest. That means there has to be the balance between the spiritual, the physical, and the material. Sometimes it can be an never-ending juggle. Sagittarius. All right, here is the Devil card and the Capricorn card. Doesn't mean Capricornians are devil, that's just the way it is. But this devil can mean that someone is obsessed with something, someone, or even has an addiction. Just so you know that. You can be addicted to a situation, even a person. So remember to read that one correctly, but that's Capricorn. The Tower card. The falling away, the making sure that everything is going in your direction and then some. However, sometimes the foundation drops out from under us and we have to recognize that, well, sometimes we just need to move on. Lots of movement. This is a negative card. However, depending upon the cards around it will determine the severity of the card. The Star card is the Aquarian, the water bearer. She's sitting here looking balance. Look how she's had to balance to pour these jugs out on one knee, not on one knee, and means hope, meditation, prayer. And you can see my cards are well loved. And I'm going to tell you, the more you read, the more you'll show wear and tear on your cards. And it doesn't hurt, but you'll know instinctively when it's time to retire a deck of cards. It's not time for my cards yet. They're still got lots of good meanings happening. The Moon card. Do you remember that little scene? In fact, I'm going to get him out right here. You see this little scene right here? This is the same. Isn't it amazing? It's a water sign as well. This is for Pisces. Looking to go through the gates of heaven. Looking for more than just what you have. A very spiritual card. So much so that there's a dog and a wolf and even this little crusty guy down here. The lowest of the low knows more than what they are searching for. Now, here is the Sun card. The Sun card, look at this little child, happy, power, the sunflowers, good beginnings, good endings, a very big celebration, an excellent card for you. The Judgment card, this angel blowing her horn, and you see this judgment, well, that's definitely, you see how gray these people are? They are awakening and arising. It is a time for, well, I'm going to say a resurrection. Time for awakening. There's help on the way with this angel. It's information coming to you. And then last but definitely not least is the World card. This World card, all elements, ready to work for you in all areas. 2 wands, making sure that she's got both hands in whatever it is that she's wanting to accomplish. And moving on, this World card ends the Major Arcana. Now, reading the Major Arcana. Shuffle. You shuffle, you just need to know and reflect what it is, what your question is, what you want to learn. And that is, there's the Hangman. We're going to lay out 5. 4, 5. Okay. So in this particular, the way I would read this Major Arcana reading is this. Based on the other cards around it, I've been wondering about how your relationship is going to go. You've been thinking, well, there's some negative things coming about. But I believe it's coming almost to an end. And it may hurt, but at the same time, With this Lover's card here, it's something, and with this Hierophant card, it's something that you know has to happen, has to be. With this Chariot card, which is also Cancer, it is basically telling you it's time to move on. And as much as you've worked on things, as much as you've prayed about it, meditated about your situation, as much as you may love this person, the indication here that you're moving on, it's the end of a chapter, and there's more to come for you. Now, many of you have asked, what is this little symbol down here in the bottom of this card? They're on all cards. It is the signature of the artist, Pamela Coleman Smith. She contributed to the artistry of these cards for the Rider-Waite and the Universal Rider-Waite deck. And believe me, this is still the most popular decks in the world to this day. She did this back in the early 1900s. Can you imagine? But these cards are so detailed, and they have really lived the test of time. So that gives you a little bit of history for this particular card deck. Okay, so now let's get into a couple of readings here. And I think you're getting it by now. And you, like I said, you may have to go back and review the numbers, review the elements, and look, 2 cards came out, 3 cards came out. What does that mean as I was shuffling? Well, this death card doesn't mean death. I'm going to put my finger over it. It's a transformation, and the transformation is telling you that there is peace coming. You see, look at this. This 4, don't forget this sword, this 4 of swords is this element that I believe is peace. I'm going to show you a little secret about this card. Do you see in this mosaic or this stained glass, you're going to see the letters P-A-X. That is Latin for peace. So just know that rest in peace, that's finally getting to rest, finally putting an end to a situation, maybe a conflict, maybe some communication. But the outcome is this page is announcing something good is going to come of it. Something good is going to come of this transformation, moving on the next chapter. And you may even have a Scorpio involved. But this card is giving you peace and a peaceable time to work through this, because now there's an announcement of probably money, probably things coming to you. So watch for that, because that's what it shows. You see, so that's how you can work these cards. So when I put them back in, I don't just gather them up together. I make sure that I place them back into the deck. Now, the other thing I want to tell you about shuffling decks, it's my preference. I see a lot of people that do the riffle shuffle, you know, the thing. Sorry, that's all I know. It's a riffle shuffle, and I won't do it. The reason I do the overhand shuffle is because, to me, the riffle shuffle, shuffling like that, holding the deck in 2 hands, and then doing this and putting them together, the reason I won't do that is because I believe it throws out the energy of the cards. It throws out the energy of the person that you're reading for. It can dissipate the energy of the cards. So I'm not one for that, but you do you. And if that's what you like and you're comfortable with that, that's what you need to do. Okay, so just remember, some readers do upright readings just like I. Some do a reverse reading. That's all preference. It's all about you. That's what it's all about. Here's some popular layouts. You just do 1 card pull, and you've seen me do this probably many, many times. Look at that. There's a completion for you. This 10 of Cups means that, hallelujah, you finally have made it. You see, there's a house in the background, and your family is celebrating, and this river means that things are still flowing. So you're not done yet. It just means that you've accomplished this thus far, and now you're going to be moving on to even bigger and better things. So that's one. So now we're going to do also, I'm going to show you the 3-card spread. And it's basically ready, past, present, and future. This is another one. Now remember, this little gal is very nurturing, and this is a brand new beginning emotionally. So as far as what this means, so past, you've wanted this brand new beginning for quite some time. This is the present. You've had to make some decisions. Remember, the wands are fire elements. This is a power card. This cloak is powerful, and the world is in his hands. So you can do anything you want. It's just the degree you want to do it. So you see, there's one that's chosen and one's behind, but both have growth and opportunity associated with this card. So that's what you've got presently going on. And in the future, you are creating the memories of not only the present day, but the past, and you're nurturing and you're making sure that all of this comes through the way you need to have it come through. So there you go. So that is your past, present, and future. Now, you just need to interpret the cards based on the elements and the suit and the numbers, okay? That's going to tell you basically what you need to know. One last thing I'm going to tell you is that you can do a yes or no. And I'm going to show you the yes or no. Are you ready? Okay, we're going to ask just a yes or no question. Just form a yes or no question. Ask your client to form a yes or no question, and they can tell you what it is. I'm going to turn my deck around so that I can do this. You see? So now we're going to do this. We're going to keep going until we get either to the yes or the no card. Do you have an indication of what the yes or no card is? Let's see. The answer is yes. Remember, the 9 of Cups is the yes card. And even in the cartomancy or in the playing card deck, the 9 of Hearts is the yes card. Your heart's desire, your wish fulfilled, your dream come true, all those good things. Now, I'm going to show you the no card. Ready? We're going to do a different pile here. Do it a little quicker. That's close. Okay. Keep going. Don't get discouraged when you're doing this, because the longer it takes you to get to one of those cards, and there is the no card, is the 10 of Swords. And just know the communication may have ended, but in another deck, in the larger Rider-Waite deck, there is a sun that's coming up. So this means it's temporary and you just have to start over and keep working on things. But that represents the no, right? I'm going to show you another little card here that I saw when I was dealing these out. And forgive me for taking up your time like this, but I just want you to see. First of all, here's one card I want to show you. That is the fire element. This is the 8 of Wands, and for me, this means something can come in very quickly. News, communication, all of that good stuff. Now look at this. This is the 4 of Wands. Look at this, people celebrating. Now, if you're seeing 1111 and this card comes up, it means that the angels believe that you are ready to go to the next step. You're getting ready to graduate in your spirituality. But the other thing is, as far as this is concerned, this can also mean buying or selling a home, purchasing a home. Are you moving? Those are things that all come within these cards. So that's it, my darlings. That gives you the foundation and the fundamental of this beautiful reading the tarot. Now, I just want to say this. Congratulations. You've learned the basics of the tarot in just 1 hour. And you need to practice, You need to deepen your understanding and your intuition. And don't forget to what? Like and subscribe. And let me know if you have questions, what's going on. Let me know. And if I can answer them, I certainly will. Don't forget the Great 78 series. And we're going to keep reading for you. I want to know how you're doing and how you're learning and how you're coming along. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. And just don't beat yourself up, because you know what? We all had to take the time to learn somehow. And look at this. Beautiful, beautiful cards, right? Let me know what deck you're using. Let me know what deck you want to use. I love this. And you know what? I'm going to see you again very soon. Thanks for being here. And I'll see you again next time. I'm so excited for you. Happy reading. Bye for now.